I would not be feeding any of these popular prescription pet foods anytime soon. As a nutritionist and someone who worked in the pet food industry for years, when picking a food for my dog, especially if they're suffering from a disease like kidney disease or skin issues or GI or stomach problems, I am highly focused on picking a recipe that is only using highly digestible, species-appropriate ingredients, meaning ingredients dogs were designed to digest, real whole foods. What I don't want to see are ingredients like this: excessive use of rice, corn, wheat, and soy. And by the way, this is an ingredient deck from a popular prescription diet food, and to me this is highly species inappropriate. And what I find even more interesting and a bit suspicious is within the same brand family, I'm not going to give the brand, they have a non-prescription food version, and look at the ingredients of this non-prescription food, again under the same brand family. To me, this looks suspiciously similar. You have corn, meal, soy, wheat, the same natural flavoring. So you tell me, what makes this food prescription, therapeutic, healing for a dog compared to this food, especially when this one is over double the price of this one? And unfortunately, any of the prescription pet foods I look at on the market today by the big pet food companies, Mars, Royal Canin, Science Diet, these ingredient decks look so similar, and most of them, if not all, are very low protein, especially from animal meat, which again is highly concerning. But I want to make this very clear. I'm not telling you to stop feeding your prescription food or to change your dog's food. I do believe, however, it is on you and I as pet owners and guardians and our responsibility to, at the minimum, be informed about what we're feeding. And if the ingredients themselves and the lower protein percent in so many of these aren't concerning enough, there was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against these popular prescription pet foods like Mars and Hills, including the vets that they were sold through, claiming that these brands and these vets were falsely promoting prescription pet foods and way overcharging. And as stated specifically in this class action complaint, these prescription pet foods contain no drug or other ingredients not found in any other pet food. Thus, these foods are deceptive marketing tactic, and they have overcharged pet parents. Also noted, it says that according to the FDA, these foods are not tested and approved for medicinal purposes, again, by the FDA. And I have no judgment on what you decide to do. I fed my Labrador prescription diet for the longest time. It wasn't until I really dug into the ingredients, the recipes, and probably more importantly, the sourcing, the poor sourcing quality of pretty much all these prescription pet foods, that I decided to opt out of that. Now, before I share what I would give my dogs as an alternative if my vet was prescribing a prescription pet food for them, I want to make this also clear. Some dogs see some improvement on these prescription pet foods, so I'm not truly anti them. I am anti-prescription pet foods, at least for my pets. Again, this is all my personal opinion, for my animals, long term. And we are in a new era where there are far better options, and by better I mean more species appropriate whole foods. But the good news in all of this is there are other alternatives, especially because pet parents like you and I are more researched, more informed than ever before, and we are demanding better. So manufacturers are coming up with better options. But there is one alternative that I am a huge fan of. If you follow me for any length of time, you've seen me talk about them a number of times. I've brought their founder, who is a world recognized veterinarian and the formulator of the food, onto my vet chat series here on YouTube. I'll have that link below if you want to hear from her directly. But this food, Medicus, and big shout out to them for sponsoring this part of the video, is a veterinary formulated therapeutic dog food that is, unlike these other popular brands, made with real whole foods. They're species appropriate, meaning made with ingredients dogs were biologically and naturally designed to digest, and maybe more important, they are sourced responsibly. These are human grade foods. Again, unlike these other brands that are primarily feed grade. Feed grade foods are inedible foods and unfit for human consumption. Quality of food I would never feed my dog. So not only with a food like Medicus, you're getting something that is truly therapeutic through the use of whole foods. They're sourced responsibly, but they are far less processed than any other prescription kibble on the market today. So all of Medicus is actually freeze dried. freeze-dried foods do not go through the same heat, pressure, and extrusion process that all of the other prescription pet food kibbles go through today. And when a kibble goes through the heat and extrusion process, which all of them do, the proteins are denatured, the nutrients are depleted because it is ultra processed and cooked over 4 to 5 times. And that's why you see a laundry list of vitamin synthetic packs on them, because virtually all the nutrition is cooked and processed out to make it shelf stable. This is the future of pet food. And there are even holistic or integrative veterinarians and nutritionists that can work with you so that you can even do a DIY diet as well. So there's a ton of options. The reason I really like Medicus, and if one of my dogs was suffering, I would feed it, is because they're formulated for you based on a dog's condition. So it kind of takes out the guesswork. So they have a cancer diet, a kidney diet, sensitive skin, like if you have a dog with allergies or dry, flaky skin, or dogs with GI issues or stomach issues. They have a gamut. Plus, they have cat options too, which is insane because cats are one of the most nutritionally neglected animals on earth. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the ingredient deck of a Medicus and look how it compares to some of these other very popular, commonly prescribed prescription pet food. A lot of veterinarians are going to recommend novel proteins. Novel meaning new ingredients, new proteins that your dog hasn't had yet. So in this one, they use guinea fowl, for example, which again is in the first ingredient. That's not a common protein. And the reason this is important is it can really help dogs with, again, allergy issues, ear infections, anal gland issues, goopy eyes, hot spots, and the produce is organic. I mean, honestly, it seems too good to be true because look at the alternative. And I get that the nutrition panel doesn't tell you everything, but boy, does it tell you a lot, at least in my humble opinion. And to be quite frank with you, I can't think of a single popular prescription pet food from these big companies like the Royal Canin, the Science Diet, the Hills, the Blue Buffalo, that is human grade, that is fully responsibly sourced. Remember, all of Medicus is freeze-dried, and freeze-dried foods, regardless of the brand, are going to be far less processed because all they're doing is simply removing the moisture out of the food through a freeze drying process so that it makes it shelf stable, and you just rehydrate it when you feed it. But what happens is the nutrients aren't impacted nearly as much. So not only is the dog going to like it in terms of palatability, but you're going to get more bang for your buck. The nutrients are going to be far more bioavailable. And the same goes for human food. A freeze-dried strawberry, a freeze-dried blueberry, or even from some freeze-dried meat is going to be much healthier for most of us than a cracker or cereal. And that really is what an extruded kibble prescription pet food is comparable to, is a fortified processed cereal. And we can't forget that our dogs are scavenger or facultative carnivores. This means they need meat, especially a dog that isn't doing well. I don't want to feed them a diet full of corn, starchy, low quality ingredients, soy, wheat, gluten meal. These are not biologically appropriate foods for dogs. I don't care who you are. That is not something that I believe in my heart of hearts, nor any of the vets or nutritionists that I study and research under. You can see all my vet chat videos where I bring on specialists and experts to talk about this very topic, linked down below. So again, you don't just have to take my word for it. You can hear from actual experts in the field. But when we compare the protein percent of a Medicus compared to these prescription pet foods, there's far more protein specifically from animal meat in the Medicus foods, which again, in my opinion, makes it so much more therapeutic and healthy for my dog. So if my dog needed to eat this for a longer period of time, I wouldn't be as worried about it. And they are independently reviewed, have gone through multiple rounds of testing, third-party testing, and they are complete and balanced. So while you could feed these foods for a moderately length of time, and once your dog's symptoms are resolving and you're working with your vet, you could feed a food like Simple Food Project, which is a freeze-dried, responsibly sourced, human-grade dog food that is complete and balanced as is, and great for dogs that are healthy today or are now healthy after going through some kind of condition or disease, and that we just want to keep them that way. So there's a lot of really easy options to switch them between a more therapeutic veterinary diet like Medicus and then back to just a standard, healthy, everyday diet like the Simple Food Project. And And they also have some really yummy treats. I'll have it all linked down below for you. And if your dog is struggling with cancer, kidney, allergy issues, skin issues, stomach issues, I highly encourage you to check out my vet chat series where, again, I bring on experts. You can click the video right here and it'll take you to those. Or if you want to learn more about what I'm feeding my dogs today, click the video right here. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Don't forget to click subscribe. Bye.